What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Arrival Entertainment, and today we are finally going to be talking about the long-awaited sequel to Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is the long-awaited sequel to the 1986 film Top Gun. It stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, and Miles Teller, and is directed by Joseph Kosinski. And in this film, more than 30 years after the original film, Maverick is once again sent to Top Gun, this time to train a new group of fighter pilots for another dangerous mission. Before I continue with the video, I just want to apologize really quickly on how late this video is. This has been a very busy week for me in my personal life. I saw this movie Tuesday. I was going to see the movie the weekend it came out, but I decided not to. I had some other stuff going on. So I saw the film Tuesday. It's now Thursday as of recording this. And on top of this video, I'm late on my Jurassic Park reviews. I had everything planned out on how I thought it could work out. It ended up not working out, so I'm a little behind on videos. So just kind of bear with me as I'm getting through these videos. I have 3 more Jurassic Park reviews on top of this review to do. So I'm trying. I really am trying. Just kind of bear with me on all this. But for what it's worth, I do apologize that this video is very late. But nevertheless, I'm doing it now. Better late than never. Let's talk about Top Gun Maverick. When it comes to the original Top Gun, I enjoy it a lot. I don't think it's a masterpiece classic like a lot of people view it as. It's a fun movie for sure. I have a great time every time I watch it. I just feel like some things in that film could have been a little bit better. But nevertheless, I was still incredibly excited for Top Gun Maverick. All the trailers and all the promotional stuff looked incredible. I love the Mission Impossible movies. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Tom Cruise. So having his production team come to do Top Gun Maverick, everything just seemed like this was just going to be a very good movie. And even though I saw the film a couple days ago, as of recording this right now, I am still in complete awe and shock on how fantastic this movie was. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this movie might just take the cake as my favorite movie of the year, and I'd even go far as to say I'm not sure if this film can be topped as my favorite movie of this year so far. Top Gun Maverick just blew past every expectation I set for this movie, and I held this movie onto high expectations. And the reason why I held this movie onto a higher regard is because I've seen what Tom Cruise and his production team can do with his movies. It can lead to great action and great scenery with great characters, hence, like I mentioned earlier, the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. Hell, the last 3 Mission Impossible movies. I don't know why I left out Ghost Protocol. That movie's just as good as 5 and 6 are. But you guys get it. I know what to expect when I see an action movie like this starring Tom Cruise. Plus, the original Top Gun came out over 30 years ago, and they're just now doing a sequel. This is a sequel that has been talked about for a long time now, and they're finally doing it now. Granted, it was supposed to come out in 2020, but still, that's more than 30 years after the original came out. So I honestly don't believe they would have done this movie if they didn't have an idea set in mind on to make this movie just as good, if not better, than the original Top Gun. And like I mentioned earlier, I am still in awe on how great this movie is. I know a lot of people have been saying this, but I'm gonna add to it too because I really do feel this way. This movie absolutely tops the original Top Gun. I know a lot of people are nostalgic about it, and a lot of people are saying that about this movie, but if you haven't seen the movie, it is absolutely true. Everything they do in this movie just goes far beyond not only what the original Top Gun did, but far beyond what normal standard action movies do nowadays. This film is filled with practical action scenes. All the aerial stuff is just gorgeous to look at. I saw this movie in IMAX, and I am so glad I went for the extra few bucks to see it in IMAX, because oh my god, the imagery in this movie, what they were able to capture by filming all the aerial stuff for real is just mind-blowing. Like it's almost unreal watching it. I know that's kind of weird to say, but it almost feels like it's not actually happening, but you really look at it and it's like, yeah, these are the actors actually doing this aerial stuff, and it's so impressive. Words honestly can't describe how impressive it is. Impressive doesn't really seem like a strong enough word for how great it looks. But whatever, we knew the aerial stuff was going to be good. What I was mainly surprised about was how awesome the new characters are, because that was one of my problems with the original Top Gun. Besides Maverick, Goose, and Iceman, I don't feel like any of the other characters in the original Top Gun are all that memorable. I guess they did their job. They were meant to just service the plot. The main focus of the movie, I guess, was Maverick and Goose in the original. But you walk away, at least I walked away with that issue. I don't feel like any of the characters in the original were all that memorable. Here in Top Gun Maverick, I loved every single new character. They were likable, they worked great off of each other, they were funny, they had great banter back and forth. I was interested in what they were talking about, what they were fighting about. This is a movie where, yeah, you want to see the aerial stuff, but you're just as surprised that just a simple scene of two characters either talking or getting into it with each other or just shooting the shits with each other, it's just as interesting as seeing the aerial stuff. And that is a huge, impressive aspect in my opinion. Because this movie could have easily have just been just the aerial stuff. You know, people could have just walked away saying, yeah, that movie was good, it had some great action and all that, but this team understood it. You gotta have good, likable characters to service the plot, and they did it with flying colors. The two character standouts for me were Hangman, played by Glenn Powell, and Miles Teller playing Rooster, Goose's son from the original. These two characters were, I think, the best of the new characters. Their performances are just off the charts in this movie. They butt heads quite a bit in this movie, yet they're both likable. Hangman is kind of like the new Iceman in this movie. And even though he's kind of like the human villain, but he's not really a villain, but he kind of is at the same time, it's kind of hard to explain. Despite that, he's still incredibly likable. Every time he was talking, I was just so interested in his performance. The same thing with Miles Teller as Rooster. He has beef with Maverick. That's all I'm going to get into because that's all the trailer showed. He has beef with Maverick and you're not quite sure why. And it's so convincing and it's so well handled. Miles Teller is a very underrated actor. We don't see him in enough movies nowadays. But all the new characters work great off of each other. Like I said, they work great off of Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, do I even need to say, is great in this film? He gives such 110% effort with all of his movies, and he knocks it out of the park with this movie. He is so awesome as Maverick in this film. I'm so glad he was in this movie. I was afraid with a Top Gun sequel they wouldn't bring back Maverick. For some reason I thought that, but I'm so glad they brought him back, and I'm so glad Tom Cruise brought his A game to this film. Also, that surprised me was the emotional impact of this movie. There are so many emotional scenes in this film that I legitimately was not prepared for. I'm not going to get into that too much because I don't want to accidentally drip into spoiler territory, but all I'll say is there are a lot of emotional moments that really got me, like really got me. And I'm someone that, like I said, I'm not very nostalgic about the original Top Gun. If you're nostalgic about the original Top Gun, you are gonna bawl your eyes out with certain scenes that happen in this film. It was all perfectly well handled, the emotional aspect of the film. So guys, there's not really much more I can say without getting into spoilers. Top Gun Maverick, I am so glad was as great as it was, and I'm glad the film got delayed. I was upset when the film got delayed because of the pandemic, but after seeing it in theaters, I am so glad they delayed it. I am so glad I saw it in theaters. I'm glad this movie wasn't just dumped onto streaming services. This is a movie you need to see on the biggest screen possible with the loudest speakers, because those aerial sequences, they're on a whole new level when you watch it that way. I'm so glad this movie is as good as it is. I loved every second of it. There is not a single moment I didn't like or just thought was okay. Everything worked in this movie. This is as perfect as you can get for an action movie and just for a movie in general. They did it. They made a rare occurrence where a sequel is better than the original. And it's a legacy sequel. Those usually don't work out all that much. They may be good, but they never top the original in any way. But this is going to be the prime example. When a new legacy sequel is announced, they could be like, hey, Top Gun Maverick did it. So this is the new standard for stuff like that. And I obviously recommend it. Go see it in theaters. Do not wait until it comes out on streaming, because Top Gun Maverick deserves the title of Oscar worthy. I can't praise this movie enough. I can't recommend this movie enough, especially for theaters. go check it out. You're not going to be disappointed with it, I guarantee you. So guys, that's my review for Top Gun Maverick. Just like always, if you've seen the film, which you probably have at this point because again, it's a late video, but whatever you thought of the movie, let me know down in the comment section below. And just like always guys, thank you again so much for watching. I got 3 Jurassic Park reviews coming before Jurassic World Dominion comes out next Friday. So look forward to all those coming very, very soon. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe right here if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, take care.